Today is the great day of Gimel Tammuz, the 29th yahrzeit of the Rebbe. Today is a day that we do some introspection. We think about our connection to the Rebbe, the moments we might have had with the Rebbe, or advice we've gotten from the Rebbe. We give tzedakah in this day to the Rebbe's institutions. We learn some of the Rebbe's teachings, especially the last Maimer discourse of the Rebbe. We light a candle. The Shabbos previously, we tried to get an aliyah. And we write a note to the Rebbe. Those who are able to go to the Rebbe's gravesite. Otherwise, you write a note where you are, and you could send it off by email to oel@oelchabad.org. And writing to the Rebbe told us after the passing of the previous Rebbe that those who wrote to him should continue to do so, and he will find a way of answering your questions and answering your needs. Let me share one such story. There was an Israeli young man who dropped out of yeshiva, dropped out of school, dropped out of everything, and decided at a young age, he told his parents he's moving to America to make a life. And he comes to America and he tries his hand with this or that, and unfortunately he's not very successful. And he's writing home that he's extremely successful, but at the same time he actually has no food to put in his mouth. He's going from one Chabad house to another. This is a fellow who's not coming from a Chabad background. But where else is he going to get a meal from this place to that place? And he got involved in drugs and alcohol, and unfortunately it was really going downhill, almost hitting rock bottom. He finally understood that he has to go back to Jerusalem. And all this time, as I said, he's writing home that things are wonderful. He's getting wealthier and becoming more successful in America. So he scrounges $500 together to get himself a ticket from New York to Tel Aviv. And before going to Kennedy, to the airport, he drives by and he says, you know what, I'll go to the aisle. He sits down in the room outside before they come into the aisle, a big tent, and he writes a letter to the Rebbe. He writes and he unloads his entire history and everything that's happened to him, the fact that why he left and where he left from and what he's tried to do and how he's gone downhill, how nothing has worked out for him, and how he doesn't have a penny to his name, and he's asking for a bracha. And after writing all this down, he felt so soiled, he felt so dirty by the state of his life that he didn't feel worthy of actually going to where the Rebbe lies, the gravesite of the Rebbe. And he just went off to Kennedy and went to Israel. When he comes to Israel, he continues the ruse. He tells his family he's doing really well in America, everything's fantastic, he's here for a short visit, he's going back, wonderful, blah, blah. A day later, he gets a call from his sister, who's a social worker, and says, I'd like to meet you in a coffee shop. She meets him in the coffee shop and says, okay, young man, tell me what's the problem. We are here to help you. Give us your situation, and we will support your growth. We will support you getting out of the drugs, and so on. What happened? The mother took his clothes to wash, to do a laundry, and she found the letter. And she read the letter that he wrote for the Rebbe. The mother read it and saw what kind of terrible state the son was in, and this actually ultimately helped him tremendously, and why he was able to rehabilitate himself. So this is just one of many, many myriads of stories that people have when just writing a note and sending it to the Rebbe. So that's what you should be doing today. Write something, send it off to the Rebbe's gravesite. Those who are close enough should really try to go and visit the Rebbe's gravesite himself. Those who are far should make a time that they're going to plan to go and visit the Rebbe's gravesite. It's a really special place to go because it's a place where our prayers to Hashem are answered more closely, because it's a place, you know how many thousands upon thousands of Jews pour out their heart in that place. So do some of the customs of Gimel Tammuz today. Have a farbrengen and have a l'chaim. We're having one here later tonight, and hopefully make good resolutions to be a better Jew going forward, to care for another Jew like the Rebbe cared, and to really understand that you have something special in yourself. Don't sell yourself short. You have something holy and precious, and allow it to actualize itself.